It had been almost 8 years since I last saw my nephew, Tyler. The last memory I had of him was as a lanky 10-year-old with grass-stained jeans and an obsession with building Lego cities in my living room. He was my sister's only child, and after her sudden passing, the family had scattered like leaves in the wind. I tried to stay close, but life had other plans: work, a difficult marriage, and eventually a divorce that left me drained emotionally and financially. Tyler had moved in with his father's side of the family in Portland, and we lost touch aside from the occasional birthday message or Christmas card. So when I received an email from him, now 18, saying he wanted to come stay with me for a few weeks over the summer, I stared at the screen for a long moment. My finger hovered over the reply button. I didn't know what to expect. Would he still be that sweet, curious kid? Or would he be a stranger, shaped by years I hadn't witnessed? I finally said yes. The day he arrived, I waited nervously at the airport gate. When he walked out, my heart jolted. He had grown taller than I expected, broad shoulders, tousled brown hair, a confident stride. But his eyes, a soft hazel like his mother's, still held the same spark I remembered. When he saw me, a huge grin broke across his face, and he pulled me into a tight hug. "Aunt Melissa," he said, voice deeper but warm. "I missed you." It took me a second to compose myself. "I missed you too, Tyler. So much." Driving home, we talked about everything and nothing: his school, his favorite music, how he'd been working part-time at a record store. I filled him in on my new job as a freelance designer, the house I'd bought in a quiet suburb outside Sacramento, and how I'd started gardening to keep myself sane. It felt natural, as if no time had passed. But something was different. As the days passed, I noticed Tyler watching me sometimes with an unreadable expression. Not in a way that made me uncomfortable, just thoughtful, like he wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. He was polite, helped with chores without being asked, and even cooked dinner twice, impressing me with his homemade lasagna. One evening, after we finished dinner and cleaned the kitchen together, he followed me onto the back porch where I sat with my tea. The sky had turned orange and gold, and the cicadas hummed in the distance. "Aunt Melissa," he said, sitting beside me, "can I talk to you about something kind of personal?" "Of course," I said, instantly alert. "Anything." He looked down at his hands, fingers tugging at the edge of his sleeve. "I haven't really told anyone this. Not Dad. Not even my friends back home." I waited. "I've been dealing with a lot of stuff," he said. "Feeling like I don't really belong anywhere. Since Mom died, it's like there's this big hole no one sees but me. I try to act like I've moved on, but sometimes it still hits me hard, like out of nowhere." My throat tightened. "I'm so sorry, honey. I can't imagine how hard that's been for you." He nodded, eyes shining. "I thought maybe coming here would help. Being with you. You're the only one who really knew her the way I remember. Everyone else tries to change the subject whenever I bring her up." I reached out and took his hand. "You can talk about her as much as you want here. I still miss her every day too." His voice cracked. "I wish I could remember more. I feel like I'm forgetting her, and that scares me." We sat there for a long time in silence, letting the cicadas fill the spaces between our words. When he leaned his head on my shoulder, I felt his body tremble with silent tears. I wrapped my arm around him, and we stayed that way until the sun disappeared completely behind the trees. The next few days were quieter but more honest. Tyler started opening up more. He showed me old sketchbooks he kept, full of intricate drawings of dreamlike cities and fantasy creatures. He told me he wanted to go to art school but wasn't sure if he was good enough. I told him he was brilliant and that his mother would have been so proud. He smiled at that. One night, I found him out in the backyard, lying on a blanket staring up at the stars. I joined him without saying a word. After a while, he whispered, "I used to wish Mom would come back in my dreams. I'd dream I was little again, and she'd brush my hair with her fingers and tell me I'd be okay." "You will be okay," I said gently. "And I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere." That night, I realized something. This trip wasn't about a vacation or summer fun. It was a healing journey, one both of us needed. I had buried so much grief over my sister's death. Seeing Tyler again brought it back, but also gave me the strength to finally face it. The summer passed quickly. We built new memories, visiting the farmers market on weekends, watching late-night movies, even going on a spontaneous road trip to the coast where we walked barefoot along the beach and talked about the future. On his last night, as he packed his suitcase, he turned to me and said, "I'm really glad I came." "Me too," I said, hugging him tightly. "I didn't know how much I needed this until you showed up." "I'm gonna apply to that art school in San Francisco," he said. I think I'm ready to go after what I want." "You should," I told him. "And if you need anything, help with applications, a place to crash, you always have me." The next morning at the airport, I watched him disappear through security with a calm heart. He wasn't that lost little boy anymore. He was becoming someone strong, thoughtful, and brave. When I got home, I found a note on the kitchen counter in his handwriting. "Thanks for saying yes. You saved me more than you know." I sat down and cried, not out of sadness, but out of something deeper. Gratitude. Healing. Hope. Sometimes, all it takes is saying yes to someone who just wants to reconnect. And sometimes, that yes changes everything.